transfer function of the system. Okay, we have seen yesterday that if we have to find out the magnitude response of a filter, then what we have to do? So if there is a constant multiplier, we have to multiply with the constant multiplier. Then we have certain numbers in the numerator and denominators which are getting multiplied. What are these numbers? These numbers are basically the distance of the zeros to a particular frequency point. The distance of the zeros to a particular frequency point divided by the distance of the poles to the particular frequency point. Okay, so they are being multiplied. Okay, so that means, as we were talking yesterday, that our y-axis is the imaginary axis and it contains the information about the frequency. Okay, so at the origin we start with zero frequency, and as we go above we get to the infinite frequency. So what happens? So when you design a filter using this formula, first you have to find out what is the response at zero frequency, then you go up, find out what is the response at the next frequency, then you try to go up and try to find out the frequency response. Okay, so what I mean to say is that you have to calculate this modulus at each and every p, where p is the point on the frequency axis. Okay, on the contrary, when we talk about the phase response of the filter, we have to add up the phases of the zero angles minus the addition of the phase angles of the poles. Okay, and how we have told that how we can find out the phase? Suppose I have a pole over here, okay, and I want to find out the phase over here like this at DC frequency. What I should do? I should draw a parallel line which is a line which is parallel to the x-axis, and then from here I would calculate the angle, and I will try to put the angle over there, that angle. Now if you see, if we design a all pole filter, then if you see, the angle of the poles are being subtracted. If there is no zeros, this gets negated, so we will be having the phase response which will be negative in nature, which will only exist in the sub-zero levels. Okay, on the contrary, in a hypothetical case, if we design a filter using only zeros, then the phases will be in the positive half. Okay, so if I have a pole like this, and if I want to find out the response at an upper side, then we will be taking this angle. Okay, so yesterday we have discussed all the poles, they should be on the left hand plane. Zeros can be placed both on the left hand plane and right hand plane. Okay. Further, if we talk about the poles cannot be present on the imaginary axis. Why this is so? Can anyone tell me? Why we cannot place poles on the imaginary axis? Anyone? No?
Marginal stable.
Maybe because of the stability issue,
Why
Marginal.
the stability issues
Sir,
arises?
marginally stable.
the system will be marginally stable then.
Why? Why system is marginally stable if you place a pole on the imaginary axis? You are correct. It will be marginally unstable. But why? The answer to this lies in this equation. Okay. So what happens? I place a pole over here. Okay. So at this point, when we come on this frequency point, at this frequency point where the pole has been placed, what will happen? The distance of the pole to that particular frequency would become 0. So what we are having over here? Multiplication of the product of the distances of the poles to the particular frequency. So at that particular frequency, at P, what would happen? This denominator would become 0, right? So what will happen? The modulus of the transfer function would be infinity when we analyze the amplitude response at that particular omega naught frequency where we have placed the pole. Are you getting my point? At all other places, there will be some specific distance, but at that particular point where we have placed the pole, the distance would become 0 and it would push the amplitude response at that particular point to infinity. Okay. Now, let us consider an one pole system. In this case, if you see, there are two poles. So when we place a pole or a zero in the complex plane, in the S plane, we have to use a conjugate pole. We have to use a conjugate pole or conjugate zeros. So the poles and the zeros, they appear in conjugate form. Okay. So they appear in pairs. So these pairs are conjugate to each other. Okay. Now, if you look over here, so say if I initiate or if I construct a transfer function Hs, it would be given by Hs equals to some constant, say gain G, multiplied by, this is a two pole system, so 1 by d1 and d1 dash. I have taken d1 dash because their coordinates are similar but they are conjugate to each other. Okay, so I have not taken d2 separately. This is an hypothetical case, but this filter is realizable filter. Okay, this filter is a realizable filter. Now what would happen? You have a pole over here. The distance of this pole to the DC frequency and the distance of this pole to the DC frequency, that remains the same. So in case of DC frequency, your Hs would become G into 1 by d1 square, right? However, as you try to go from DC towards the higher frequency components, the distance between this pole and that frequency components, it becomes reduced, whereas the distance of the conjugate pole to that particular frequency, say over here j omega, this goes on increasing. And when this goes on increasing, what happens is that at higher frequency components, the conjugate pole has a negligible effect. Hence, for the easy understanding of the frequency response of any filter, we usually negate the presence of the conjugate pole. Okay, and over here what happens? Your transfer function becomes, since we are not considering the conjugate pole, your transfer function usually becomes G into 1 by d1. Okay, now let us take this example. We are having D. At this point we are having some distance. So what will happen? You are having some amplitude value. Okay, then next what would happen? As you move at this position, the distance reduces. So what will happen to the amplitude? It will increase. Again, as you come to this point, it will again increase. Up to when it will increase? It will increase up to a critical frequency omega 0, which is also regarded as the central frequency. Okay, so at this position, at j omega 0, what would happen? The distance would be the minimal. So 1 by d factor, it would become high. Okay, so at this position omega naught will be having the highest amplitude. Thereafter, as you go on increasing the frequency, if you see, the distance increases. The distance increases. So what will happen? The frequency response will, the amplitude response will start decreasing with the increase in the frequency, and it would attain a maximum frequency at omega naught. Okay, Now you consider the phase response. As I said to you, the phase response due to a pole would always be in the region of 0 to minus pi. Okay, so it will get a shape something like this. Okay, now if we consider zeros, it would be the opposite case. What is that? If you see over here, this distance, for this distance you will be having some factor. Now as you go towards the omega 0, the distance is reducing, and we know that hs is directly proportional to the distance of the zeros to the frequency component r. So it reaches a minima at omega 0 and then it increases. Okay, so the same thing we just the reversing we see in the zero based filters. This is not a realizable filter. Okay, just for the sake of understanding how zeros affect the amplitude response, we are just discussing this one. Okay, so if you look over here, this becomes the thing, right? Now accordingly, if you look into the composite this phase response, you get something like this. Okay, that's very good. So do you have any question up to this? No? Okay, good.
Sir, hello.
Yeah.
Sir, please repeat the 0, 1, the opposite, which is the opposite of pole.
No, you look into the transfer function. G multiplied by, this is modulus. If it is a 1 pole 1 0, this thing, Hs is inversely proportional to D. Hs is
Yes.
directly proportional to R. So as you are
Okay.
moving from 0 to j omega naught, your distance is getting smaller. So R is
Yes,
getting
sir.
smaller. Since
Okay.
R
Okay.
is getting smaller, your amplitude response is coming down to a minimal level. Okay,
Okay, sir.
and beyond this, as you go on, your distance increases, amplitude response increases. Clear?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now let us talk about how we can quantitatively analyze what should be the response of a given filter if we are given with the poles and the zeros. So this method, this qualitative method, it is regarded as rubber membrane concept. So what I said, it is a qualitative method. Okay. So let us draw the S-plane. This is our S-plane. This is sigma. This is j omega axis. Okay. Now I give you just a simple thing, a pole, and I ask you, can you find out what should be the amplitude response of this filter? Uh, Okay. What should be the amplitude response of this filter? How do you find out? Now, let us suppose this is a plane. This is the top of the plane. Okay, top of your table, which you have divided into 4 quadrants. Now, if you see from the side of the table, what you will see? You will see your table in this fashion. Okay. So this plane is on the top over here. Okay. So you are not able to see the plane. Now what I say, do one thing. You place a rubber membrane and affix it on the top of the table. So it should look like this. There is no gap in between. Okay. Maybe I will just erase this one. Okay. So you have affixed the rubber membrane onto the top of this plane. Now this plane, this S plane is covered with a rubber membrane. Okay. Now I say that you insert one stick within this rubber membrane on a particular point. So what will happen from the side? What you will be able to see? You will see something like this, which is basically a cone-like structure. So this cone-like structure should be something like this. If you look somewhat from the top, okay. Understood? Any problem over here?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
So
Sir,
yes,
sir, this figure come after inserting the stick. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, sir.
So I am
Thank
just
you.
drawing this one over here separately. Okay. Now what we have discussed in the S plane, what is happening? Your amplitude response, it goes to a maximum, right? So when it will get to the maximum, that means we are putting a stick at this location, right? At this place where we have placed the pole, it would be like this. Now if you see, it is having a diameter across it. Now let's draw the diameter on the top view. So we will be getting a circular structure like this, right? But on what thing we are interested? That is the major question. We are interested what is happening on the j omega axis. We are interested on what is happening on the j omega axis. So what we would do? We would just cut our table such that we do not have any information about the right hand plane. So once you have cut this thing, sorry, we are having something like this. Now we have to look from the right hand side. Onto the j omega axis. So what is happening over here? If you consider this cone, so this is coming down, but since we are on this axis, it has cut down over here. Okay, so we'll be getting a plane surface like this, but we have started from somewhat from negative 0. Say our 0 starts from here and it goes up to some frequency, say omega c, not omega c, say omega 2. So it ends at omega 2. Okay, this is 0, it is omega 2. Okay, so this cut surface is this one. Sorry. this is starting from below 0. So this is somewhat it is inside this here. So say it starts from 0 omega, and we have some components in the negative side also, right? So when you are taking as looking into this plane from the side plane, basically what you are seeing here is 0. Okay, these are all pinned to 0. Everything is pinned to 0. Everything is pinned to 0. Pin to 0 up to this 0, before this 0. Then as we come to this point, there is an increase in the response. Sorry. There is an increase in the response which continues up to omega 2. Omega 2 is this one. Omega 2 is this one, right? And beyond this, you get a again straight line, right? And then this continues to be in the straight line. You continue this, so there is no response due to this filter. So what it has done, if you consider only the positive half of the frequency, if you look into this and if you look into this area, what kind of filter it is? It is a low pass
No.
filter.
Low
No
pass.
perfect.
So just by placing a pole, we have seen that how the rubber membrane concept can help us in identifying the nature of the filter without going into the mathematical or any other description. Okay. Now, what are the other types of filters? The other types of filters are high pass filter, band pass filter, band reject filter. Then band reject filter is also known as band stop filter. Then you have notch filter. Okay. These are some of the common these things. There are other filters like comb filter, which I am not discussing today. Okay. So if I have to make a high pass filter, then what I have to do? If you look into the ideal low pass filter, high pass filter, it should be something like this. Omega cutoff is like this. This is omega. This is amplitude, right? So it should behave like this, something like this. Now what over here? So you need to place a filter around this omega c. So I place a filter near the omega c. Okay. So if you look into its domination is whatever. Its domination is in this circular area, but you do not want anything before this omega c, right? In this area you do not want anything. So what to do? But you have to stop the filter. You have to stop the response. So what you have to do? You have to place a 0 just before this omega c. So what it would happen, what it would do? Now again, if you cut it and try to see, I am talking about this view. So after cutting this plane, I am looking from this end. So in this view, what you would see? At omega c, you are having a maximum, this thing. It should have been something like that if you would have cut it without 0. Now since you have cut it, we have suppressed the thing with 0, it is a rubber membrane, right? So at a particular point, so here you have put the 0. Okay. Since this is a rubber membrane, if you stretch a membrane and then at any of the what you call heightened plane, if you put your finger down, so will all the plane will come down? No. Only where you are pinning down, that point will be suppressed and the other will having some amplitude, until and unless it gets the stretching due to the pin which you have inserted, its effect on that area is reduced. So what you get due to the insertion of this 0, or which is acting as a pin, you get a ripple just before the omega c. It is coming down to 0, but beyond that you will be getting a ripple. Okay. Now if you put another pin over here at this top, then you will find that you will be having you are suppressing that end also. So if you see from this 0 and this what you call this circular circumference, there is some distance. So this is this distance. Are you getting my point? This distance is this distance. So this distance and this distance, this if I can call it as A, so and this as A, this A distance and this is distance are the same. Okay. So you will say, sir, now this omega, if you see above omega c, we are having something and it is just dying down. Yeah. So what you have to do? You have to place a series of poles in the higher frequency so that you can maintain the what you call, you can maintain the amplitude response, and again for this pole you will be getting some response, something like this, right? Now what should be the composite thing? The composite one will be, it will come down from here, it will increase and it will get to the maximum point. Suppose here it is omega c 1, so at omega c 1 you will be having something. Now if you see again in the high pass, you are having some ripples. We are having some average values plus minus delta. So it is going to the top, it is coming down, it is going to the top, it is coming down. So in this fashion, when you start putting the poles in the higher frequencies, you get this kind of structures. Okay. Now, suppose you want to make a notch filter. Notch filter means a filter which will allow you to suppress a particular frequency point. Okay. So what you can do between these two, say at this region where they are intersecting, where this thing is intersecting, and we are having this reduced effect. Over here, I place a 0. When I will place a 0, this trench, this value will come down to 0, and that would make a notch filter. Okay. Band pass filter, you just place a pole and then across the pole you place 2 zeros, but I have said that the number of zeros cannot be more than the number of poles. That means you place 2 poles at the same location. So when you place the 2 poles at the same location, so you will be having 2 poles at the same location and a pole 0 there and 0 here. So its frequency response would be something like this. Okay. So this would become your band pass filter. Previously I was talking over here high pass filter. Then in this trench, if you place a 0, it can become notch filter. Okay. Now coming to the band reject filter or band stop filter. Again, I would take this example. In this example, what will happen? You have 2 poles, right? Now band reject, you have to reject the bands. So what you do? Just between them, these two, you place 2 zeros. So within this frequency component, it is suppressing the gain of the filter. So now how your amplitude response would look like? It would look like something like this. Right? So see, in this region, your band is rejected. By the way, when we talk about this band rejection, so there is a component a by root 2. Okay. So suppose this is the highest point, maximum point. If we go to a factor and if we consider this as a, and if we come down to a factor to a level where we have a by root 2, amplitude by root 2, that is regarded as the cutoff frequency of that filter. Okay. So it may be a lower cutoff frequency, it may be a higher cutoff frequency, it depends. So for a high pass filter, it will be just high cutoff frequency. For a low pass filter, it will be low cutoff frequency. For a band pass filter, there will be two. One is for the high pass cutoff and low pass filter cutoff. Similarly, when we talk about band reject filter and band stop filter, we will be having again low cutoff, high cutoff, and NF also you will be having single frequency cutoff. Okay. So this is the thing. Now, another important thing is that suppose you are having a pole and onto that pole you place another pole. So what should happen? If you look into this HS, is 1 by D into D. If I place another pole, it will become multiplied by D. So placing a pole on the other pole, it magnifies the effect of the pole. Similarly, when we are having 0, okay, when we are having 0 and onto that we place another 0, it will magnify the effect of the 0. Okay, because then it will become R multiplied by R square. Okay, so it will magnify the effect of the R. Next, there is a typical case where I place a pole and onto that I place a 0. So in that case, our HS would become R by D, but R by D would become equal and we get 1. That means when you place a pole onto a 0 or a 0 onto a pole, they cancel out each other's effect. Okay, they cancels out each other's effect and there is no effect of either the pole or the 0 which have been placed one over the other. Okay. Now another important thing is that when we talk about the band pass filter and band reject filter or band stop filter, we can design these filters using a combination of low pass filter and high pass filter. Okay. So I would tell you first band pass filter. So what happens over here? You are having a signal Xn. You put it through low pass filter. Then you put it through high pass filter. Sorry, pH हो गया. And you get the Yn. Now, so the composite of this one is band pass filter. Now over here you have to keep in mind the cutoff frequency of LPF should be greater than cutoff frequency of HPF. Why this is so? And these two blocks, they are interchangeable. So let's say low pass filter. I draw the low pass filter. I draw the high pass filter. Now this shaded region would give you the band pass effect. Okay. Now if this is not the same, If this criteria is not met, then what would happen? You pass the low pass filter, you get this region, then the higher frequency components, they get rejected. You go into the high pass filter, its characteristics is this one. Here there is no signal altogether. On the contrary, it rejects the low pass region too. Similarly, if you implement the high pass filter, you are getting this region, your low pass frequency components are already rejected, and then when you implement the low pass filter, it eliminates the high pass components. So basically you get nothing. Okay. So while designing a band pass filter using a low pass filter and high pass filter, you should keep in mind the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter should be greater than the high pass filter. Okay. Now next comes the band reject filter. If you look into this two categories, here what was happening? LPF was lower than HPF. So when you have this condition can help you in designing band pass filter. How? Xn you get YN. So what is happening? You are having the low pass filter separately, you are having the high pass filter separately, you are getting adding up, you get both the thing, right? So this is how you can design band pass filter and band reject filter using individual low pass components. But while designing this, you have to keep this criteria in mind. Okay? Any questions? No?
Sir, can we design notch filter also by using a low pass high pass filter?
Usually what we do is that you design a band pass filter and then just put a zero at a particular location. That is much more easier.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, otherwise what happens is that if you increase the cutoff of this low pass filter, you bring this on to the higher side and bring the cutoff of this one high pass filter towards that frequency, and then you can design in that way. But I personally prefer you design whatever filter you want to design and then just put a zero over there. So that will ensure that at that particular point you get a zero thing. Say for example in this band pass filter, you're having this, right? Now I want a notch filter at over here, say at this omega. So I will just put a zero over here. So what it will do? It will just eliminate responses in the shaded region. This will be blocked. Okay. So it becomes much easier in that way.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
Sir, will band reject filter will have same condition as the band pass filter? That
Which filter?
omega.
I didn't get you the first term.
band reject filter
Huh.
will have the same condition as the band pass filter. The
No,
omega of low
no,
pass
you
filter is
didn't listen carefully then. Anyone else who can answer?
It should
So
be
the
lesser.
frequency of the low pass
Should be less than
frequency will be less
Exactly.
than the high pass frequency, then it
high
will be
pass.
the band reject filter.
Yeah, and you have to put it in this configuration. If you put it in the cascaded form, in a series form, you will get nothing. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? No? We are over time, so we'll stop over here.
Thank you.